In this video, we're going to take a look around the interface on Scrivener. As you can see, I clicked on the Scrivener icon, and this typically is the first thing you'll see. For the purposes of this training course, I'm not going to walk you through all of these other different styles. We don't need them right now. I want you to click on blank and hit choose. It's going to ask you for a title. Now, the whole point of this training course is to show you how to very quickly create an ebook, and we're actually going to build an ebook as part of the training. So I'm actually going to do this with you. In fact, I'm providing a stack of PLR articles, so you could actually use exactly the same content that I've used. And if you look around one of the resource sections in this course, you'll even find the finished ebook. But for now, I haven't decided what we're going to call this ebook. I actually think it's going to be mobile marketing. So we're actually going to create a mobile marketing ebook. So we're going to call it mobile marketing. Look at that, hey? Ebook. That's the name of the file. And I'm going to save it onto my desktop just so that I know where to find it. Chances are it's not going to show up right now because I'm using ScreenFlow to capture this. And ScreenFlow, I've said turn off all the icons. I don't have too many on my desktop, but I didn't want to distract you. Now, what you see before you is the standard interface. Pretty straightforward. It doesn't look too overwhelming, quite frankly, but it's when you start digging, that's usually when the overwhelm kicks in. So I'm going to make sure that you only need to know what you need to know so that we can go from start to finish very quickly. This is the main interface. In the preview video, or the first video, I mentioned it's an IDE. That stands for Integrated Development Environment. A couple of key things I want you to understand. We've got navigation down the left-hand side. We've got primary content displayed here. Along the top, we have a fairly familiar ribbon. Some of the words might not mean too much to you. Don't get too concerned about them right now. What you do need to pay the most attention to is this, draft. That's actually where our manuscript or our content or our articles will go. Right now you can see I have one piece of content titled Untitled. In fact, there it is. It says Untitled. In fact, I'm going to say this is my first piece of content. Ta-da! Super simple, huh? Still untitled. By the way, you can double click the title and call it anything you want. First content. There you go. And you'll notice that the title name changes over here. So this, by the way, is the title of the content. All right. This binder allows you to see predominantly three main clusterings. You've got trash, where you can throw stuff, research, where you can capture stuff, and draft, where you obviously put your content. We'll talk about these more as we need to, but I'm not going to introduce them to you just yet. This is essentially how you navigate. You type your content in here, and you'll see it over here. Let's create another piece of content. Now, there are a few ways to do that, but let's just keep it simple. Big green button at the top says Add. If you click on it, you'll notice it's just added me a piece of content down in trash. My bad. Watch this. Notice I just dragged it up. Oops. And I just dropped it underneath the other one. Don't want to be doing that, so we're going to drag it up there. There we go. You'll notice as I'm clicking around, the layout's changing. This is corkboard mode up here. See? Single, clustered. You don't need to worry again too much about this. But whenever you pick the master, in this case draft, see it's made up of two pieces, you're going to see multiple pieces of content. If I pick the individual, see I only see one. Let's do this again. Click. Now you'll notice that it's just adding it here. So I'm just going to fill in some dummy data or dummy words. I'm going to give it another silly title. I'm going to call it Apple. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to double click there, and I'm going to call it Orange. Notice I double clicked here, not here. I'm going to say, hello, my friend. I'm just making stuff up, right? I'm just showing you how you can key content in. Now look, here's a piece of content called Apple, title Apple, there. Here's a piece of content called First Content, title, there. Here's a piece of content called Orange, there. You can grab these pieces of content and move them around. If you grab and drop it onto another piece, you'll see the blue bar around it. It becomes a parent-child. Now, I won't get into that just yet, but it allows you to create hierarchies, documents within documents. There's a reason we might do that, and I will show you that later when we get into structuring ebooks. But for now, we have a very simple document, and you'll notice that if you try and scroll around, you really can't. You can only see one piece at a time, okay? It's very, very clean, very, very simple. Remember, when I clicked on here, I suddenly get to see all three pieces. Notice that when you do that, you don't see the title, right? Although you do when you click into it, you don't see it all in one go, okay? And those were your group mode views. Look, in single mode, it says view, see? And when you pick the whole draft, it says group, and it shows you things in group mode, see? Apple, orange, first content. Now, if you make your page bigger, you'll see things moving around. Apple, orange, first content. Apple, orange, first content. Watch. Orange, apple, first content. Orange, apple, first content. See? I'm not really a huge fan of the corkboard, mostly because I don't need it and I don't use it. I tend to use this format, which is just a cool way of showing me the whole thing in one long document. So if you click the draft component part of the binder, that shows you all three documents. And if you pick this button here, view in group format, you get to see the whole document, okay? So let me go in here for a second. Let me show you something else. Oh, I don't know. This says, hello, my friend. How are you today? Question mark. Notice I've now got, see, again, I'm hopping around. See, you can see my entire document is made up of three pieces. This black line, by the way, is just a visual clue. So that's how you can navigate around. Of course, when it comes time to save, you should be familiar with the standard interface on a Mac or any computer for that matter. You can come up to the top, you hit File, you hit Save. In this case, I'm going to hit Save, and I'm going to close. That's the basic navigating component parts here, okay? We'll talk about the other pieces in other lectures, but that's really what you see when you start up and start creating content. All right? And here we are back at the project template, and I'm going to close there.